pretty well. It's functional.
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, January 18th, and we are here for the first organizational meeting of 2022. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And our first order of business is roll call. We'll start with Mr. Begic.
Here.
Marilyn.
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Troy.
Here.
Tim.
Here.
All right, all present. All right. Next on the agenda is designation of the temporary chairman to conduct election of officers.
I'll nominate Craig as the temporary chairman.
I second that nomination.
These are fighting over who's going to be second. I like it. All right.
That's okay.
There we go.
All right, so there's a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. We can continue with the meeting, so that's good. Next up is the election of officers for 2022. Item A, under section 4, is chairman. Is there a nomination from the floor for chairman for 2022?
Nominate Vaughn Begic.
Nomination for Vaughn Begic.
I second the nomination.
All right, we have a first and a second. Are there any other nominations from the floor? I get to say this a couple more times, so. Any nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? All right, that being said, Mr. Begic, do you accept this nomination?
I do.
All right. The nomination accepted. We need a motion to, for the nomination to be closed and a unanimous ballot to be cast for Mr. Begic to be the chairman of 2022.
I make a motion for the nomination to be closed. And we accept Vaughn Begic.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Congratulations, Vaughn.
Again.
Again.
Lifetime. That's right.
All right, next up is vice chair. Are there nominations for vice chairman for 2022?
I nominate Mike Pergandy.
Pretty handy.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and support. Any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? All right. Mr. Pagandy, do you accept the nomination?
I
for
do.
Vice Chairman?
I got it down pat.
All right, well, that's good. With that and the acceptance from Mr. Pagandy, I'd like a motion to close the nomination as well as cast an unanimous ballot for Mr. Pagandy for position of vice chair for 2022.
Move that we close nominations for vice chairman and move for unanimous acclamation to support Mike as vice
Should
chairman.
do secretary.
All right.
Second it.
That'll work. You got it now.
Okay,
All right,
there's
we have a
your
motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye. You gotta have
Just
one.
one?
How do you decide that?
right here.
All right, with that, motion carries. Congratulations, Mike. Next up, this highly sought-after position of secretary for 2022. Are there any nominations from the floor for secretary?
I nominate Troy Stewart.
Support.
We have a nomination.
And another support, because he's been doing such a good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow. Any other nominations from the floor? Look at them fighting over this position. Any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? All right, with that being said, Mr. Stewart, do you accept this nomination?
Yes, sir.
All right. With that being said, and acceptance from Mr. Stewart, ask for a motion to close nomination and cast unanimous ballot for Troy Stewart as secretary for 2022.
I move that we close nominations from the floor and cast a unanimous vote of acclamation to support Troy as secretary.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, congratulations, Troy. And my last order of business, position for Sergeant at Arms. Are there any nominations for Sergeant at Arms? Yes, sir.
I nominate Marilyn Lazars.
All right.
Support.
I might have to use your one.
You told me you had
Vaughn,
one.
that was you supported?
That's supported,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
One of them.
All right, any other nominations from the floor?
Jerry Jacobs had. Remember when he came? Were you weren't there, were you?
I heard about it.
Any nominations from the floor? One more time, any other nominations from the floor? All right, Marilyn, do you accept that nomination?
I accept.
Okay. And with that, I ask for a motion for the nominations to be closed and cast a unanimous ballot for Marilyn at Sergeant at Arms.
I move that we close nominations from the floor for the position of Sergeant at Arms and support that nomination of Marilyn by unanimous acclamation.
Support.
A motion and a support. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Congratulations. All right, with that, that concludes my business as temporary chairman. Thank you very much, and let's have a good 2022. Turn the meeting over to Mr. Begic.
Nope,
Maybe a quick citizen input.
they all quit.
Okay, citizens input. Probably going to call on Mark, since he's the only citizen.
was an
Any
endurance
comments, any updates?
Last man standing.
Things are quiet? Okay. I heard there was a large mortgage expenditure, or was it somebody recently, or something about housing?
There's supposed to be, but I believe we've reached back out and have not heard anything back. So as of now, until more information is provided, we are at a standstill.
Yeah. I heard that the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging, in fact, they had a presentation here last week, is looking at some veterans housing that's over on Euclid across from Monitor Lanes, Region 7 Area Agency. And I think there was, how many units, was it 10 or
Yeah.
10-unit complex for veterans and low-income housing over on Euclid, over by their place. And I talked to another guy yesterday who's looking at doing some apartments and maybe some veterans and low-income housing, but it's out on Beaver Road, so it's a little further out. And I think Bay Area Housing, it's got a different name now, it's not Bay Area Housing, but it's another group in the city is looking at some low-income housing over by the market. They bought houses over there on Jefferson and want to develop a complex over there.
Need to be bulldozed.
There's a shortage of housing, especially low-income housing. We got quite a bit of high-income housing along the river, but need some low-income housing too. So.
To Jefferson.
That's by the high school right there.
Close citizens
Behind the old
input then.
Old YMCA. and
Petitions and Communications. We did
then-
chat with Amber about
I went there when I was.
bringing back some reports. I think she said, what, maybe March then? For the
Yeah,
next
it looks
meeting?
like March. She'll have
Some
Yep.
administrative rules, and then the,
I used to go there and I'd go to the boys' club.
not soldiers and sailors, whatever we call it now, the other fund that we
It was
distribute.
functional.
Right.
So,
It sounds like we'll be going through, between Mark and myself, we'll have some meetings as well before the meeting here. But hopefully we can fine tune any other loose questions or answer anything that she may have, but sounds like March might
yeah.
be good.
And then you were looking at the grant from the state. You had applied for that then?
Well, yeah, so I went before the Ways and Means Committee in January because the state has changed without usually for like a forewarning as far as when their application process is open, closed. So rather than, putting it off and potentially running a risk at, making that window a little short and difficult to apply for, just got it over with. So as soon as, that way whenever, when they flip the switch on to accept applications, we're good to go. So.
And then we have to spend that by end of September, was it? Still the same timeframe?
Yep, so the fiscal, so they go from October through September 30th, October 1 through September 30th. So the grant that we're currently on is good through September, and then the new one will take over October 1.
And have they expanded the use of it now? I know there was a move to maybe make it a little more lenient what you could do with the money, or?
I'd be interested to see what they come out with as far as an announcement for this one. For the one that we're currently under, they used the, last year's, we applied through last year's through like the summer, I believe. I think it was, I don't know why July is in my head, but I think we applied for it in July. So as of then, they haven't modified anything else. So I'm wondering if, as a result of that legislation, if they're going to, modify it for this coming year, and if, what they make known as far as, there've been slight changes in the application process as far as, background or supporting documents and those types of things. So it'll be interesting to see what comes this year.
Yep. Then we have to decide so you had to, you had to put stuff in the grant though, didn't you? What you were looking to do with the
We
money?
have to be very specific to what it's used for. And, hypothetically, if we were to, use a small portion of it, say for gas cards, those have to be distributed by September 30th. You cannot hold on to them, as an example. So most of this year's funding is for the positions in the office, as well as the contract person that will be working on the cemetery project. And that is currently going through its purchasing corporation council phase right now. So we're hoping to have something put out there pretty quick.
That'd be the flag person, would it be?
Yeah, working with the cemeteries.
Yeah,
So,
working on,
Yep.
identifying the veterans of cemeteries where the flags are needed and help getting them ordered and distributed.
yep.
So Mike won't have to do that anymore.
Good. I could order them through the Legion. That's, like we mentioned, that's the easiest place to get them.
Yeah.
But, Memorial Day is May 30th, so you got a little bit of time, but don't wait till May 29th, because otherwise you'll have to have
And that
get my
person
crayons
probably,
out and draw you a flag.
that person could use some of our collective wisdom, I would imagine, ordering in cemeteries and where some of the plots are, and
I would assume.
and probably how it's been done in the past, because if you change things, then we'll have to make sure we don't change too many things. So,
And to Mike's point, in the February Ways and Means Committee will have that request, because we can request general dollar funds.
yeah.
And so that will set up, I'll work with finance and have a specific line item set up so we can track that it did not come from the millage money, it came from general fund. So,
Every year.
Yep.
Every year.
So is this person you're hiring, I assume you have a duty description out for them already?
Yeah, that was submitted to finance, yep.
Okay.
Scope of work, yep.
Are they going to be the ones who actually get the flags and distribute the flags and manage the flags? Or are they just going to be the ones who figure out how many you need?
Well, the main focus of the position was to research for how many veterans are in each cemetery. That was the first and foremost.
Okay, got it.
However, there are as most job descriptions have, other duties as assigned. So
Right.
that isn't, something that is something that could be part of that position relatively easily.
And this is a paid position.
Yes.
Holy cow. Maybe I ought to apply.
Have to apply, yes.
No, thank you.
So this is just one-shot deal, once it's figured out, the position's just for temporary?
As of right now, that position would not be completed as of September 30th, because we haven't applied for the next grant cycle, not sure if, and at that point, we're not sure if there'd be anything else that would need to be done, right? So, as of right now, it was intended to be a one-time one grant cycle position. And we don't know where the funding will be either. This cycle, this was the highest funding we had made available to date out of the four years, I believe is it 4 now? I think it's 4 years that we've applied for this grant. This is the highest dollar amount that was made available. So I'm not sure what this next cycle will look like. It'll depend on budget for the state, which is always fun.
Yeah. We have a standing rule that if it's a grant-funded position, then the grant money goes away, then the position goes away also.
So after this is
Paid for by grant.
established, service officers will stay on top of the new burials, or they'll go through the Vets Council, or
Say that again?
for the new burials, after
Yes.
this is established for the cemeteries, will the Vets Council stay on top of that then?
Yeah. Once we have once we have the information and,
Baseline.
going forward, we would just have to, stay active and certainly a lot more, keep, be a little bit better at record keeping.
Any other new business? Miscellaneous.
I've got an issue that I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
Our county service officer is a great American, and unfortunately, he's getting sick about every month. I make a recommendation, you put a sign on that door that says masks required. And it has been COVID, fortunately, but it's viral. So he gets a lot of sick people in there. Masks required, and then, I don't know, do you have an environmental engineer in the county? Could they check out his filtration system and make sure it's working?
John.
There's something's going on, about once a month he gets, about once a month, 6 weeks, Mark, what's it been? Yeah. Then we lose them for about 4 or 5 days.
They are looking, I know they're looking
sorry.
at new filtration systems in some of the facilities.
We just purchased 6 of them over the sheriff's office, the sheriff did through the COVID money, and they seem to be working great. I don't know how many officers are down. I have a couple of inmates that are positive, and the worst one has a runny nose. So whatever system we bought over there, I can get you the name of it. We bought some small ones for the officers and some larger ones.
Standalone kind of system, right?
Standalones,
Yeah.
And then they bought some for the cars, so they rotate to the squad cars. So I'll get that information.
Pass it over.
Let you know. But they seem to be working great for us. Like I said, we don't have any officers here ill right now. So.
Because, it's not COVID, but he gets to see a lot of people from all over the place that come in there and
Kristen Gignac is in charge of that area. We could bring it up with her and see what we have here in the building, the county, if there's a need. That might be some ARPA money that we could use then too. So
I'll get it to Mark.
we'll bring it up with her.
you're going to get it to Mark?
Yep.
Troy, we'll get the info to Mark.
I'll get that to you tomorrow, Mark. The company we use. He was just there today, dropping another unit off, and they seem to be working great. You can actually tell a difference when you walk in the room. So.
See if they got any extras, we could use some at the Legion.
I think they're 4,000 each.
Well, never mind, we can't afford it.
Open the door.
Announcements, I know the Vets Council is planning to do the parade as long as there's a parade, St. Patrick's Day parade. I talked to Jan Rao and she was applying for the permits for the parade. So it sounds like it's a go, but the Vets Council is planning to have
That's cool.
a presence in the parade. Their numbers are dwindling, unfortunately. They don't have a lot of able-bodied people to march in the parade, so.
Well, I'm sure the American Legion will have an open to the public license, and we will have warm bathrooms and cold beer. And some bratwurst and such.
So that'll be, what time do you open? Is it noon that day, or?
I serve coffee to the people that help with the run at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So come on in and have a coffee and a donut. And then their workers come through and warm up. Because normally, it's supposed to be nice, but it's usually a little chilly.
Usually cold.
Yeah.
Are they planning a run and a walk this year?
They are. They're planning a run, a walk, and the parade.
Nice.
I think, was it the 19th?
20th is the
20th.
the run
Yeah.
and the parade, which is Sunday. November? You're not Irish, are you? March.
You said veterans. I thought you said veterans.
No, St. Pat's.
You said veterans.
Did I say
Yeah.
veterans?
Yeah.
That's November 11th. Sorry. Thanks for correcting me. St. Pat's
St. Pat's.
is the 20th.
Then, let's see, what else? Memorial Day would be after that. We'd need the flags for Memorial Day.
The 30th, this year.
Memorial Day is May 30th this year.
All right, any other announcements?
Do have we heard anything about the VA van program that they're trying to put out?
Nothing that I'm aware of yet, so I will check and get back to you, though.
And that would be for like rural, was it for rural areas?
That was their rural.
Or maybe Bay City wouldn't qualify, the city maybe wouldn't qualify in Conning or up that way.
Possible, if they're cutting through the area, yes. If they're coming from Aranac, which would be rural.
And the VA is open by appointment pretty much then, or?
Correct. The VA's gone back to being closed to outside people, spouses, anybody coming through. They're trying to cut down on traffic again, so with just the veterans who are there, so.
I haven't heard anything about bingo, because our Lions used to do bingo and our VVA did bingo, and I don't believe they've opened up for any of the
I don't think they're doing
activities.
that anymore.
They're not open, but if you know somebody in palliative care, you can go visit them.
Go visit.
You gotta wear a mask, though. And if you're going to go there for dental, have an appointment, you have to be tested for COVID
That's what I had.
before the dental appointment, the same day.
Even if you've had shots?
Yeah.
No. No. Anything else? Any other announcements? Our next meeting would be March somewhere, let's see, 16th maybe? I think the first is on a Tuesday. I'm thinking the 16th. Same as February.
15,
Yep, March 16th.
1/5.
Yep.
15th.
15th, okay.
Yep.
2 days before St. Pat's.
That's right, it's a Tuesday.
The actual St. Pat's.
Yeah, 15th. Anything else? Otherwise, a motion to adjourn is always in order.
Move we adjourn until March.
Second.
Mike and Tim, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.